I was thinking last night, and I was thinking about some of the questions that we're going to have today. And I think one of the main ones is, for you, what's the number one mistake that you think people in property make? Just the one mistake, if you were looking to pinpoint that.
I think the number one biggest mistake for property professionals as a whole is time frame. I think everything seems to take a very, very long time in property at each stage when it doesn't necessarily need to. And I do believe that time kills all deals. When I
I
look
would
at the
agree.
deals for us that have gone, that we might have needed to extend a bridge or we might have been behind on
Yeah,
construction. I think a lot of it has been down to timeframes and urgency. And I think it's very easy in the property industry to fall into, oh, it takes 16 weeks to get a
yeah,
planning application back. It takes 3 months to buy a house. It takes, a month to do your due diligence. It doesn't.
yeah,
Yes, there are certain third-party timeframes where you are going to be beholden to
yeah,
other people, such as a
yeah,
planning application. However, if you can buy the asset quicker, you can have your funding in place, you can work with a really good solicitor, you understand the process, so you can push that sale through in a month or 2 months rather than four,
yeah,
you've saved yourself 2 months.
yeah,
If it takes you 10 weeks to get a planning application in, you've lost those
yeah,
10 weeks. If it takes you three and you create that urgency, you're organized and you're focused on it. Yes, you might have 12 or 16-week lead time with a council that you can't alter, but you still saved
yeah,
yourself those 7 weeks
yeah,
initially,
yeah,
plus 2 months on the conveyancing. So, all of these things, as you know, when you're
yeah,
going through finance and paying that finance fee, be that 1% a month or whatever it is that you're borrowing, and having to pay that interest, that is being saved
yeah,
every month. And I think it's hugely advantageous that you don't need to buy into the speed of the
yeah,
industry. You maintain your
yeah,
speed, you keep that sense of urgency, and your only time is when you're dealing with third
yeah,
parties that you're
yeah,
beholden. And even then, you're proactively chasing,
yeah,
you're making sure the information is presented accordingly. It's presented right the first
yeah,
time. So they're not then coming back to you with silly
yeah.
questions and wasting weeks on weeks. So that for me would be the number one.
I think on a teaching point on that, for kind of to add into that, one of the main things that investors look at, and this is something that will be compounded long term, like compound interest, is your IRR, which is your internal rate of return. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what that looks at, and lenders look at, and investment banks, and all the big people look at it, is your internal rate of return. Now, that isn't your ROI. That is how quickly your money that you're putting in is being recycled back into a next project. Now, like what you're saying, if you can shave 3 months off each project, you can shave 4 months off each project. You start to look at that over a 10-year period, and you've actually had a whole 2 years more developing time. You've made your money work twice as hard, or
Exactly.
work harder for 2 more years over other
Yep.
ones. So I think I agree. I think that's a really good insight, and it's a really important thing for everyone to understand in property.